or your concerns about the back pain, the more we work the glutes, the more active they become, and they will actually help support the lower back. So you may experience less pain. So if you, well, before we start, my name is Steve Avellino, certified fitness trainer, corrective exercise specialist, and specialist in senior fitness with reverse the aging processes. And this program is going to be a combination of corrective exercise and physical exercise. For those of you who have been with me for a long time, the majority of my programs are corrective exercise, where we are waking up muscles that have fallen asleep. The same is true with our glutes. This is the Glute Workshop. And glutes are super important muscles. They help with balance, stability, all sorts of good things. And all we do is sit on them. So then it becomes a point in time where they are pretty much literally shut down and they don't do the things that they're supposed to be doing. So this is specifically a glute workshop for the muscles of the butt. We're going to spend a lot of time, well, first of all, there's three glute muscles. So the gluteus maximus, which is the big one, which we all are aware of. There's a smaller one that starts here and goes down to the hips and the upper part of the leg called the glute medius. That's a super important one because that's a primary stabilizer of the hip. Nobody knows it exists, okay? And then we have a smaller one called the glute minimus that we will be doing some work on as well. So we're going to start out. I've given you your homework. There are 5 moves to do at home. Anybody here have any balance issues that I need to be aware of? Okay? So when we are doing the homework, we're going to go over today, there are certain moves where I want you to get behind your chair and hold the back of the chair just for balance and stability, okay? So the first move in the homework is called the heel squeeze. This move is ridiculously easy and it will provide tremendous benefits. I had a friend of mine 3 or 4 years ago, and a lot of you have heard this story. She's a bookkeeper. At the end of every month, she was at her desk 12, 13, 14 hours a day, closing out the books for the month. And she always had back pain. And it started on her drive home, which was about 45 minutes. So I gave her the move we're about to do called the heel squeeze. All we're doing, and you're going to grab your kitchen sink when you do this, okay? Because your feet are close together, so in turn, your base of support is very narrow, okay? All you're going to be doing, and we're going to do this in a second. All we're going to be doing is squeezing your heels together. When you squeeze your heels together, you feel your glute muscles contract, okay? So this bookkeeper, every time she get up to make a copy or use the copy machine, she'd grab the machine, put her heels together, squeeze her heels together, her glutes would contract, okay? When the glutes contract and they activate, they support the lumbar spine, where we have the majority of our back issues. I showed her this move October 30th, 3 or 4 years ago, and I know it was October 30th because she called me Halloween night and said she had no back pain. I ended up training her mother for a long time, and I continue to speak with her. She has not had any back pain since, and all she's been doing is putting the heels together, squeezing them, and you feel your glutes tighten up. So every time she got up to make a copy, she would do this. The glutes would be active. She'd then sit down, and the glutes were now supporting the 5 lumbar vertebrae in the lower spine. So if you could stand up, please, get behind your chair, grab the chair for stability.
Why is it not echoing in here?
We tested the volume earlier, it was good. You can hear me?
I don't think it's coming from here though.
It's not coming through there? Okay,
There you go.
there we go.
Is that better?
Is that too loud?
Yeah.
A little bit lower?
Is that better?
Okay,
Good?
okay. So once again, you're going to be holding the chair for support. I do not care if your toes are in or out. Normally in the other classes, I'm looking for parallel feet. but just for a balance and safety perspective. So you make sure your heels are touching. There you go. Okay, good. Now squeeze your heels together. Make sure your heels are touching, please. Okay, squeeze your heels together. So you want your feet aren't close enough together because your heels aren't touching. No. Jeannie. Okay, your heels are still not touching. Closer. Nope, heels aren't touching. Nope, your heels aren't touching. So you want your heels against each other. There you go. Okay, now squeeze the heels together. Do you feel the muscles of your buttocks, your glute muscles contract? They're getting tight? How about you, Jeannie? Yep. Feel the muscles contract? Feel the muscles contract? You feel them? Okay. So once again, this is a ridiculously simple move with tremendous benefits because once we activate these muscles, when you sit down, they're now going to support the lower back. So I do this move all the time if I'm on a plane. So flying is one of the worst things we can do for our body. You know, when you get off a plane, you feel awful. So every 20 minutes or so, I'll get up and I'll just pretend that I'm looking around and I grab a seat and I do the heel squeeze. Activates the glutes. When I sit back down, they're now supporting the lumbar spine. Also good for a long ride. When we went up to Vermont this weekend, pulled over a couple times, did the heel squeeze. I'll also do it. It's great before you go into a movie theater as well, because you're sitting there for a couple of hours. Okay, so let's do this move again. Jeannie, make sure the heels are touching. Okay, squeeze the heels together lightly, and you feel the glutes contract. So when you did it, I saw your upper body sway a little bit. That's good. Okay, that means the glutes are contracting. You feel them tighten, Jeannie? Okay, everybody has this? Okay. Next move we're going to do, and we've done this before. Oh, by the way, today's class is going to be different because we're going over the homework. Next week's class is we're going to be doing more physical work with mini bands, okay, to strengthen the area. Okay, this move is the hydrant, and all you make sure you grab your chair firmly. When you do this at home, grab the sink, okay? The hydrant is simply leg back and hold. When you have the leg in the air, I want you to squeeze the glute of that leg. And you should feel it tighten right in here. Everybody feel that? Yeah, any pain? This move works all three gluteal muscles, okay? It's a wonderful move. All right, let's try the other side. Back, and when you extend the leg, you're going to tighten the glute muscles. Okay, so bring it out and hold it. So this isn't a kickback, this is holding it. So the foot is off the ground. Okay? Okay, you can have a seat and take a break. So right now, just showing you these two moves, I can feel that my glutes are active, which is hugely important because once again, they support the lower back. Okay, the next move we're going to do for the homework, and you can do this holding the sink as well. And I think you and I did this move before in one of the classes in Foxborough. It's called a skater. So if you think about people ice skating, it's this, okay? So all we're doing with the skater is we're coming back, okay? This is a great move for loosening up the hips, but if you can see the move, you're also firing the glutes, both of them at the same time. Ideally, you can get to the point where you can do skaters and your knees touch the ground. I'm not expecting that in the next 6 weeks. Okay, so if you want to get to the back of your chair, please. That is deep, Natalie. Yeah, yeah, it's way past good. Okay, but you don't want, you want the bottom of your feet touching the ground, not the top of your feet. Okay? Okay, Jeannie? So start off easy, okay, not too far, just get the feel of it. Good. Janet?
This appears very easy, right?
So Janet just did two, and well, your second ones were much longer than your first ones, which are good.
So the longer the better?
Yeah, but take it easy at first, okay?
Oh,
I do not want you waking up tomorrow morning cursing me. Okay, so let's do some of these holding on to the seat. Perfect. Really good. Everyone's doing it well because you're not thinking about bringing your leg back, you're thinking about bringing your leg around. This is also going to be great for hip mobility, but we're firing up the glutes big time. That's ridiculously good, Natalie. Just be careful because you're going so deep, your socks have a tendency to slide on the floor.
yeah. No, my socks have bricks in the bottom.
Okay. Okay. So this next move we're not going to do here. You're going to do it on your bed at home. Okay? And you can do it on the floor if you can get up and down on the floor safely. It's called a clam shell. Let me see what the camera is here. So you're lying on your bed and you're here, okay? You're bringing the knees up to a 90-degree angle, and all we're doing is lifting, okay? And this is going to work the glute medius and the glute minimus, those little muscles. So you're doing this lying down. That's a different move, okay? And then you're going to do it both sides. Eventually, if you have mini bands, you can do it with a mini band as well, okay?
And where do you put the knee band, over here or over here?
Two schools of thought, I like them above the knees. There's less chance of tripping. And the last move you're gonna do for homework is called a kickback. It's the same as the hydrant, but now we're not holding, we're alternating. So you're grabbing the sink, and we're doing this. And I want you to think about kicking. Okay, good.
And trying to concentrate on the glutes as well as.
Yes.
Oh,
You're always trying to make the mind-muscle connection of the muscle you're using, okay? So in this position, I'm thinking glutes. And after a while, once you're holding the sink and you're stable, wow, I was just gonna talk about full extension. That was really good extension, Carol. I thought you were gonna kick that door open.
wow.
Really good.
Full extension means that way too?
I'm not worried about it at this point in time. Just make the mind-muscle connection with the glutes. So we're coming here and we're thinking about kicking. But you should start feeling these things in your glutes now. Yeah? Okay? And the cool thing is after 6 weeks and doing the homework, your glutes are going to be highly active. My wife always gives me a hard time if we're out walking the dog. And we'll be walking the dog, I'm like, wow, my glutes. Shut up. Okay, you can have a seat.
Did you happen to see on the news, I don't know, it just was the sports section, and it was about an MMA fight that they just had, one of those championship fights.
Yep.
And the two gentlemen that were fighting, I mean, you're the opponent and you're attacking me. he grabbed the guy's ankle, so like this,
Yep.
and the guy spun around with his other leg and,
And he did what is called a spinning wheel kick.
oh,
So this guy,
that's deadly.
so if Linda's my opponent, she had my foot in the air like this. He spun and kicked. Actually, it was a wheel kick, so it wasn't a kick like the kickbacks.
Yeah.
But he spun while she had his foot in the air and caught him right in the head. And he was unconscious while he was still standing. We will not be doing that in this class.
What?
We will not be doing that in this class.
But that's.
But I appreciate you bringing it up because that's that is serious gluteal control. Serious gluteal control. So think about it. I have one of your feet in the air. I'm holding it here. You spin in the air and hit me in the side of the head with the other foot.
So you're off the ground.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And then he landed, he just put his spine, he landed after he,
Yeah.
and he was like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. But think about how many times he's practiced that.
Oh.
Okay? If you're familiar with Bruce Lee, one of the most famous martial artists of all time, he always said it's better to practice one move 10,000 times than 10,000 moves once.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. But yeah, that was an incredible. So think of the balance too.
Well,
And also think of the mind-muscle connection. Because how many muscles and how many joint actions do you have to make with your foot in the air to spin in the air and have the other leg come around this way? Yeah, his balance is pretty good. Yeah, it's better than mine for sure. Okay, I'm gonna come around with some mini bands. And you're gonna slide these above your knees, please. Mhm. I'm sure you remember these. It has been quite chilly in Foxborough on Thursday morning. Yes, of course. Well, you always bring the sunshine.
What is the difference on up here, over your knees compared to on the ankles?
Okay, a couple things. First of all, if it's around your ankles, you can have greater movement. It's changing the resistance area. The only thing I don't like about it, if you're on your feet, there's a greater tendency to lose your balance or trip if it's around your ankles as opposed to around your knees. Okay?
Oh, yeah. You must do.
So I am just still at the volume. I'm just quickly changing masks here in case I have to come down and help someone. Okay, we still at the volume? Okay, good. Good. Okay, we are going to do still at the volume or no?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to do 3 different movements with the mini bands. The first one I'm going to do is the hydrant, which we did before, holding the back of the chair, which is this and holding. But now we have the resistance of the mini band, okay? Which is going to make the deep muscle fibers fire even more, okay? So get to the back of your chairs, please. Be careful when you're walking with these. Okay, everybody good? So right leg holding onto the chair, right leg behind you and hold it. Now, obviously, this is going to feel much different because you have the resistance of the mini band, but it's forcing the right glute to fire big time, to become active. Okay, out and hold it. Any pain? What's that? Pain or discomfort? Okay, I expect some discomfort.
Yeah.
Because when was the last time you did this with a mini band around your legs?
Do we supposed to kick or just hold?
No, just hold. Okay, so everybody hold.
Me, the discomfort is in the leg I'm standing on.
Yep, same with her. Okay, now other side.
You know, is it important? I always have the tendency to twist my hips to try to get straight behind, not twisted.
Okay, ideally, you're just going straight behind. I don't necessarily want you to twist the hips because then you're compensating for a weak glute. Okay? Awesome extension, Carol. Okay, take a break. We're still standing, please. Okay, right leg again, out and hold. You may start feeling your glute muscle starting to fatigue a little bit.
I feel, my opposite.
Mm-hmm. I'll explain that in a minute. I'll explain that in a minute. Okay?
Yeah, I feel it in my thigh.
Yep. Okay, other side.
This side.
Not so much. Mm-hmm. Okay, have a seat and I'll explain that. Quick story, when I leave here, I'm going to train a mother and a daughter. Daughter's 73, the mother turns 99 next month. And I've been training the mother for over a year now. She's been in a wheelchair for 4 years, and I've been trying to get her to the point where we transition her to a walker. But obviously COVID set us back. But I told her for her birthday, we're gonna dance. So I picked out the song, and it's a 4-minute song, and it's tough because she's been in a wheelchair for 4 years, so obviously lack of strength, fear, balance, and everything. Last week, we danced for 2 minutes and 51 seconds. So we are on track to get to the full 4 minutes for her birthday. And it was funny, I don't know if you guys remember a dance called the Lindy. She does because she's almost 99. And so we Googled it, and it's like really, really fast. And I said, so this is what we're gonna do for your 100th, but we shall see. Okay. Questions, or a few of you mentioned stretching, discomfort, pain in the opposite thigh, okay? That is our hip flexors talking to us, okay? So the hip flexors, we've spoken about this before. When you sit, they get really tight. One hip flexor is a big, meaty muscle here called the psoas, comes down, goes underneath the legs, attaches to the bottom of the spine. Then you have the iliacus, which is the other hip flexor. So it's a combination of iliopsoas. When we sit, we're in hip flexion, which is this. We were just in hip extension, which is the opposite. And that's why you are feeling the hip flexors and the thighs here tight or sore or whatever, okay? So there's a thing called reciprocal inhibition. So if you're making a bicep muscle, the tricep has to shut off, okay? They both can't be on at the same time. The hip flexors are the reciprocal of the glutes, okay? One of the reasons we have inactive glutes is we sit so much, the hip flexors are overactive, so the glutes have to turn off, just like the bicep tricep, okay? When we go, once again, that's hip flexion, sitting. When we go into hip extension, not only are we firing the glutes, but we're stretching out and turning down the hip flexors. And that's why you're feeling it in here, okay? That said, that's a good thing, because when we drive, we're in hip flexion. When we sit, we're in hip flexion. If we sleep in the fetal position, we're in hip flexion. And we sit so much as a society that we have lots of back issues simply because of this. Because when we're here, our muscles adaptively shorten, okay? Our body will adapt to anything. If we're sitting for 8 hours a day at a desk, these muscles are going to shorten, okay? And then you'll get up and it's like, oh, you have a little back pain or whatever. That's because these muscles are now pulling our pelvis, our spine and pelvis forward. So that's why you're feeling it here, because those are the hip flexors going down there. And when you're in hip extension, not only are we firing the antithesis to that, but we're stretching them out at the same time. So that's a good thing. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do this one at a time, please. I want you to stand up, please, Natalie. I want you to spread the feet, okay? And you're gonna walk laterally, but I want you to keep the band stretched. So go to this side, slow it, slow. Stretch the band more, wider, longer steps. Okay, go ahead. Other direction. Slow it down, stretch the band, stretch the band. So now you should be feeling it right in here. Okay, good, you can have a seat. Jeannie, try this. If there's any balance issues, let me know, okay? So long step to the side. Good, a few more. You feeling it in the sides here? Okay, that's okay. Longer steps. That's it. Now you should be feeling it. Okay, good. You can have a seat. This is called the lateral lock. A couple good things about this is we never move in this plane of motion. We hardly ever go sideways, okay? The other thing is, too, we're hitting our glute minimus and glute medius in this exercise at the same time. Okay, Janet, let me know if there's a balance issue. I will come over. Slow it down. Good. Nice long stride. See how she's doing that long stride? She collects herself. Okay, back the other direction. Nicely done. You feel it in here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So now we're attacking the glutes from a different angle. So I've said this many times, the body works in 3 planes of movement. If I have a plate glass window on either side of me, I can't do this. All I can do is this, 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 okay? That's a sagittal plane. When we're doing the lateral walks, we're in the frontal plane. Plate glass window in front of me, behind me. I can't do this, I can't do this. And go to the side, things like that. And then the transverse plane, where we're twisting, we have some obliquity to it. The thing is, if we can get the body to move in all 3 planes of movement, then we're doing well, okay? As humans, especially in the United States, we're in this plane pretty much 95% of the time. And then we have to do something like this, and then all of a sudden we tweak our back or whatever. Okay. Good. Nice long strides. Right on the way back. You feel it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Nice. See how she collects herself after each step? Okay, other direction. Beautiful. You should be feeling that right in here.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Do you hate me right now?
Not yet, but.
Not yet? Okay, go ahead. Nice. And you're keeping your feet pretty much parallel too. Very nice. Other side, please. This way.
I don't feel as secure this way.
Right. So you know what happens when you don't feel secure?
Tighten up.
Have a seat. So that was an excellent point. So you're talking about not feeling secure going towards the left.
Right.
Your left foot was not parallel, it went out to the side. And that's the brain keeping you safe, okay? That's the brain saying, so if you see people that are severely hunched over, what happens to their feet? They come out like this to increase their base of support. So that's the brain keeping them safe. I was wondering, as soon as I said your feet are parallel, when you went the other direction, you would external rotation with the left foot. And then you said you don't feel safe on that side. And that's just the brain saying, okay, this is uncomfortable, I don't like it, let's do this. So it increases your base of support and you feel a little safer.
That's neat how that works, the brain, the
Yes.
connection between mind, body.
Yep, yep.
So is it a good idea just to be aware of that and bring it back? And or to let it happen on its own as I strengthen?
Excellent question, because now I never want to say I want you to do something where you're going to feel less safe,
Yeah.
okay? But you may want to experiment if you're holding on to the sink of the counter and doing it, okay? And continue to do the homework from the Move Pain Free class, because that's going to hit the arches and the ankles anyway. Okay. Long, really good. On the direction, slow it down, please. Excellent, very good. You feeling it in here? Okay, good, okay. Take a break. Yeah, it's amazing how the brain works.
I'm proud of you that once you get stronger and probably automatically will tend to work more with parallel feet, I can imagine, right?
Correct, correct. And the cool thing is, I don't know what the difficulty level is with all of you with the yellow band, but some of you come week 3 or 4 may think that the yellow band is not enough resistance for you, and then we'll give you a green band, okay? But the cool thing is, once the glutes are active, you feel different, okay? When my glutes are highly active, I have a bounce to my step. I feel like I can dunk a basketball, even though I'm sure I can't. Leap over vehicles, but you just have that spring.
Does it help you balance those?
Yes, yes. Because first of all, we're working the glute medius, which is primary stabilizer of the hip, okay? What happens when the glute medius turns off? The brain says, okay, the glute medius is not working. I don't have a stable hip. What's next in line? It's your hamstrings, your leg biceps. So I'll see people at the gym all the time foam rolling their hamstrings, okay, because they have tight hamstrings. It's not, foam rolling is, they have some upstairs. It's like this tube and it's hard foam and you can lay on it and like roll out your muscles, okay? If I remember, I'll bring one next week. But I've seen for years and years and years, I've seen people sitting down, they've got this tube of hard foam underneath their hamstring here, and they're rolling it back and forth, trying to loosen up that muscle. And I don't work at this particular gym, so I can't say anything. But it's not really that they have tight hamstrings, it's that they have inactive glute medius. So if this isn't stabilizing the hip, the brain says, we have to bring in this muscle to stabilize the hip. And in turn, the hamstring becomes tighter, and they roll out the hamstrings for years and years and years, and nothing happens. If they just activated the glute medius, the hamstring is going to turn off a little bit. But that's the same thing with the brain, like you were saying. The brain is always looking for the safest and the easiest way to do things.
The other thing that I saw, and I like track and field, and if you watch
Yep.
track and field, especially the college kids,
Yep.
they had a young man, I forget where he was from, but he was probably 19. And he did the hurdles, you know, how when they do the hurdles, the leg goes all the way through. But these hurdles, they were all the same size until the last one.
Yep.
Higher, and he actually went right over it, and it was the way he sprung from the ground.
Was it the steeplechase?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you're familiar with the steeplechase?
Yeah, I am.
Steeplechase is interesting. You're on the track, you're going over different hurdles, then you're jumping over walls and landing in like puddles of water and stuff. And it's an actual like Olympic sport, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It might have
crazy.
been- It might have been, but it was the same kind of hurdle
Yeah,
as the others.
Okay,
Only it was
okay.
higher,
yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah.
I love to watch them.
The hurdles are amazing. I could never do that. You have to run as fast as you can, time your steps, and at a certain step, right leg or left leg goes flying in the air over the hurdle, and then you have to kick the other leg up. Land properly, but you're doing this at full speed. We will not be doing that in this class either. Okay. Okay, Natalie? Feet wide, monster walk. So feet wide, nope, we're going forward. Short, choppy steps like a monster. Keep the band spread, now backwards. Nice and slow. Natalie refuses to move slow. Forwards, keep the band spread. Think monster, think Frankenstein. Okay, now backwards, keep the band spread. Feel this in the glutes? Okay, you can have a seat. You will feel this in the glutes more when we're going backwards, okay, than you will forwards, because we never walk backwards, okay? Okay, Jeannie, feet wide, spread the band. Now come forward. Nice monster walk. Nice. Okay, backwards, keep the band spread. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Okay, and you can have a seat. Feel that in the glutes? No? No, don't be sorry. You may tomorrow morning.
Can we call you when we're in pain, let you know?
If you wake up tomorrow morning and you feel absolutely wonderful, call me. If there's going to be any cursing involved, just send me a text. Okay, feet wider. Wider. Okay, short, choppy steps forward like this. Nice monster walk. Okay, backwards, keep the band spread wide. Okay, forwards. Slow it down, and backwards, band spread wide. Okay, find your chair and you can have a seat. This is scaring me to death because normally when we do this, I have your arms, just so there's no balance or stability issues, and I'm not supposed to do that here. Maybe I'll put something over the camera. Okay, go ahead. Beautiful. See how wide the band is? Now backwards. And forwards. And backwards. Keep the band spread. Find the chair. And once again, going backwards, when I do this going backwards, my glutes are on fire. Okay? I apologize. How do you pronounce your first name again?
Renate,
Renate? Okay, beautiful.
and rolling the arms, please, in the beginning.
Renate? Renate.
Renate.
Okay, nice and slow. Backwards. Keep the band spread. That's really wide. You should be feeling that in the glutes big time.
Yeah.
Okay, forward. Yeah, you're gonna be cursing me in the morning.
I will be texting.
Thank you.
You know, one thing, one that just mentioned, how nice the mind works. I totally forgot what he had taught us, how to get up.
Yes,
And it just clicked in the moment we sat here and I got up the first and I said, oh, wow, I need to make sure I get.
the front of the chair.
Yeah,
That's where you're at.
it's great how, these things come back. You've done it in a few months,
Yep,
but it's up here.
awesome, awesome. Now, for those of you who have issues getting out of chairs because of knee valgus, knee valgus is one or both knees collapsing in when we go to get up from a chair. So I just sat down incorrectly. Thank you for noticing. I can tell by the look on your face. So with knee valgus, people will get up and one or both knees will collapse in. So when that happens, you lose all the power you're generating from your hips. Most of the time, knee valgus is the result of a weak glute medius, which we are working on big time in this class. So anyway, tighten the glutes, breath, brace. That's better. Okay.
They didn't do the walks.
Thank you. I just had a senior moment.
We were looking forward to that.
No.
Oh, I'm
I love it. You want to be a monster?
Okay, monster walk, please. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My senior moments are happening more and more these days. I can't figure out why.
That's because you're with us.
Wide feet. There you go. Nice monster walk. Backwards. Spread the band. Any balance issues? Okay, good. Forward. Spread the band. And backwards, spread the band. Okay, good. Feel it in the glutes?
Yes.
Okay, feet wide, shorts are beautiful monster walk. That's actually a scary monster walk.
Getting ready.
Okay, backwards, you get ready for Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay, forward, spread the band wider. Ooh, yeah. Backwards, spread the band, and find your chair and have a seat. Really good, really good. So everybody should have pretty much active glutes right now. Everybody feel their glutes, or at least are aware of them? Jeannie, not so much, or? Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna come around and collect the mini bands.
Where do you get the ones rounded like that? Also on the internet or so?
I get them in Amazon, yes.
Okay, never saw them. I always knock them together.
You can get a bag of them, five different
Colors.
colors, 5 different strengths, for $9 and change.
Nice.
Greatest investment you'll ever make in your life.
I'm not sure if we're going next week.
Okay.
Maybe we'll be open in 2 weeks.
I actually need it for my classes. Yeah, but this is not required for home,
Okay.
okay?
Do you teach anywhere, this particular class anywhere else?
Yes, I'm teaching it in Sharon right now. I have 8 different programs that I teach at different places. Before the virus, I was doing 13 classes a week at different senior centers.
And what day do you teach in Sharon?
Sharon, I teach on Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could I possibly maybe join the class on Friday?
To make up the class that you're gonna miss?
I don't mind if I pay extra. It's not-
No, you won't have to pay because you already paid for this class.
It's
Okay?
like to say if she's not a resident of.
They may not, yeah.
They give priority to their residents. I don't know, maybe. they
Right,
don't.
so the class has already started and there's 2 openings.
Yeah.
So it should be fine.
And normally they.
You have my email, right? It should be on there
Yeah.
at the top. Okay, email me, I'll email them.
Is this your phone?
Yes, okay?
Shouldn't be a problem, man, if the class isn't filled.
The class is in full. Let me email them and make sure it's okay. Okay?
Thank you.
If not, I mean, I can leave like the back door unlocked and you can just kind of sneak in.
And they normally work with each other, the senior center, so it should be fine.
It's just for next week, so.
Yeah. Thank you. The class is Friday at 11:45, 10. Man, I'm losing my mind, Carol. 10:45. Okay. One of the great things to work glutes is squats or sitting, which I just did incorrectly again. So we're going to work on that, but for those of you who took the previous class, 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously we're going to do the brace sitting, okay? Now the other thing is too, for those of you who took the last class, we're going to start doing these mini band movements, not braced and braced in future classes, okay? And you're going to feel a difference. So who here has an issue getting out of a chair, or everybody's pretty good? Okay. So ideally, when we sit in a chair, we're going to tighten the glutes, okay? We're going to take a big breath. Exhale, tighten the stomach, and while we have the tightened stomach, we're going to sit. And this happens, okay? Squats are a great exercise for the glutes and the hips, okay? So let's stand up, please. Okay, spread your feet a little bit, because that'll make it easier. Tighten your glutes. Actually, let's do this a few times. Tighten the glutes. Relax. Tighten the glutes. Relax. See how your pelvis came forward about a half an inch? That's the position we want our pelvises to be in.
Your tummy's supposed to go right in, right, automatically?
It's tied in now. When you first started it, it wasn't. Okay? But now you're firing so much here that this happens. And now you're going to feel it here. This is not actually your abdominal muscles, these are your hip flexors. So people, I'll explain next week, but people work their abdominals totally wrong. And I did for 50 years as well. Okay, so let's just do tighten the glute, pelvis comes forward. Hold for 10 seconds, relax. Tighten the glutes. So you're tightening right here, boom, pelvis comes forward. Relax. Your glutes should be highly active right now, or even sore or tired, because they probably haven't had this much work in a while.
They feel good.
Yeah, that's right. But you'll find if you do the homework on a regular basis, you're going to notice that this is happening because your glutes are firing. You're starting to get a little spring in your step.
Can you do this while you're walking?
You can, but I would rather have it that you work these and they start doing it on their own. Because if you start thinking about different parts of your body when you're walking, there's more chance of, missing a step or, losing your balance or whatever. But if you do this at home, it's going to happen automatically. Because once again, we're waking up these muscles. Okay, so let's finish up. Tighten the glutes, pelvis comes forward. Do you feel your pelvis come forward, Jeannie, when you do it? Okay, good. Relax. Tighten the glutes. So your pelvis just boom comes forward. That's good. I have a woman I'm training privately, and I mentioned her before. said she lost so much glute activity during the coronavirus from sitting that she's like this now. So she'll be like this. I have her tighten the glutes and her whole body straightens up. That's how important the glutes are. Okay, relax. Tighten the glutes. Good. Now, when you're tightening the glutes, you're starting to feel it in here a little bit? Yep, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, relax. I'm going to do 2 more of these and then we are done. Please do your homework. I know you all will because there are no males in the class. It's always the same. Starts in kindergarten, Carol, and goes to your 90s.
Oh, preschool.
In preschool, right. Females do the homework. Guys, not so much. Okay, tighten the glutes. Really tight. Really tight. Notice how your posture changes when they're firing? Yeah, all of you. All of you. You all look like you could be bouncers at a nightclub. Okay, take a break. So what did you do with all your energy when you were cooped up with the coronavirus?
Terrible cleaning.
Cleaning? Your house must be immaculate. Okay, 1 more set. Feet parallel. Right toes in, please, Natalie. Good. Jeannie, right toes, there you go. Nice job, Jeannie. Good, good, good. Carol, right toes in a little bit. There you go. Okay, get nice and long, nice and tall. Squeeze the glutes. Pelvis comes forward, hold it. Nice and tight. My glutes are on fire. Okay, that is it. Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Any pain I need to be aware of? Okay, so this is great. We work the glutes, it'll be great for back pain, it will be great for balance and stability, and bikini season isn't that far away.